What's up everyone and welcome to the Draft Dynasty channel. Today in this scouting episode we're gonna go over Quinton Byfield, and this one was highly requested. He's been ranked number 2 in the draft overall for quite some time, almost from start to finish. So let's start this. So the two things that you're gonna hear the most with him, it's gonna be his age, since he's one of the youngest player in the draft, and also the size. 6'4", 214 pounds. He's huge. He's also a center, which is rare to find a big guy playing center, and he could potentially be a number 1 center. If we look at his stats, 29 goals last year and 61 points. This year, 32 goals and 82 points, but in only 45 games. So in terms of production, it's been one of the best production in the OHL. But not only in the OHL, across all the CHL, he's been excellent. And I would strongly suggest taking a look at that site, pick 224. It's pretty much the best site for junior stats. And if you rank here, even strength primary point per game, you can see he ranked second only behind Lafreniere, and he's slightly ahead Marco Rossi, so that's always a good thing to see. And finally, for those that don't have the premium subscription on Elite Prospects, I got you covered, my brothers. So as always, draft eligible, minimum 20 game. For the last 20 years, I rank them by point per game, and he is 11. And you can pause here and just take a look at the player that are in that range, around 1.82 point per game. Those are all superstar players, so it's hard to go wrong, and everything is pointing in a direction that is going to be an all-star player, or at least a very solid player in the NHL. And one final thing before we start the clips, I just saw yesterday that 92% of my viewers are not subscribed to the channel. What are you guys waiting for? Go subscribe right now. It's free, absolutely free. Click on that thing. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's start the clips. And if you're a regular on my channel, you should know the drill by now. I like to start with the thing I like the most about the player, and for him it was pretty easy. It's his speed. For a 6'4" player, he's extremely fast, and overall there's two things that I really like about his skating. The first one is his acceleration, so his first few steps are very fast, very quick, and the last thing is probably the most important one is his stop speed. So in a straight line, he's extremely fast. When he's able to generate speed in the neutral zone, is very effective to counter attack, and overall in terms of transition, I would say he's one of the best in the draft, easily top 5 in my book. In transition, I'm talking about taking the puck from his zone, so zone exit, zone entries, as well as every transition in the neutral zone. He's really feasting on the counter attack, and I have to be honest, the OHL is not exactly super strong defensively, so it's a league that's giving a lot of odd man rushes, a lot of turnover, so that's kind of the perfect play style for his strength and what he's good at. And I'm thinking maybe this is why he was not as good in international plays, because they're doing a better job locking down the center of the ice. They're not letting you gain speed in the neutral zone, and also they're not giving as many odd man rushes. There's also one thing about his skating that I think he could improve a little bit. It's his agility, footwork, his edges. We got to keep in mind he's a 6'4" dude, so we cannot expect him to be a ballerina on ice, but still I think there's a little bit of room for improvement in that department. Right now he's more of a top speed straight line kind of guy. And getting back to the transition, and this is me being picky a little bit, it's nothing major, but sometime you're gonna see him in his zone, he's gonna look really tired, not really skating, kind of taking the shift off, and suddenly the puck is going the other way, and bang, he finds a bunch of energy, he sprint on the offensive zone. So this is something you see often with younger player, cheating a little bit, and with him he doesn't do it all the time, but sometimes it's noticeable. And I mean, it's normal for younger player, and as long as he's producing, I'm fine with it. If you're to cheat a little bit, you need to produce, and in his case, he's producing, so I can live with that. Moving on to a new category, and for those that have seen my latest video on the top 15 shooter in the draft, spoiler alert, Mr. Byfield is in there somewhere. I'm not gonna say where he's ranking, but he is in the top 15. His shot would be the second thing I like the most about his game, and you're gonna notice most of the goals he scored, there's quite a bit that are in transition, like I was saying before, so in movement. So it's a thing he's doing very well, shooting while at top speed. He's still very accurate. Another thing with him, he has very good scoring instinct, so whenever he's around the net, he's very good with deflection, rebounds. He just has a nose for the loose puck, and he's able to score. It's a natural goal scorer.
Byfield, nice move, wait for it, he shoots! scores! That is a highlight reel goal.
This one, check this out, just undresses the man. Butler, see you later. And then Hunter Jones can't get the glove.
To Peter Stratus. Stratus's pass is partially blocked there. And Byfield will make the extra effort. Long shot. Score!
And this is probably my favorite snipe, extremely good. And one more time, again, it's in transition. And I'm starting to be worried because the main bulk of his production offensively is mainly through transition. And if you remember, last year, Jack Hughes was also very elite in transition. And of course, they're two completely different players, but I'm just a little bit worried with players that their main offensive production comes from the transition, because in the NHL, gotta keep in mind, it's gonna be a completely different story. You're not gonna have that many 2-on-1s. The play is a lot more tighter. In the end, I think it's not really gonna matter because he's just too talented. There's too much talent that he's gonna figure it out, and he's gonna be able to diversify his offense.
And Quinton Byfield on fire this afternoon, picking up a hat trick. And Mitchell Weeks, as you mentioned, an unreal performance.
Let's move to a different category. Another thing that he's pretty good at, it's his playmaking ability. So I'm gonna roll out a few clips of his passes and assists that I got during the game I've watched. I wouldn't say he's an elite playmaker, but for sure a very good one. There's at least 5 guys I would say that are better in this draft playmaker than him. So he's up there as a very good one, but not quite elite. In terms of playmaking ability, what I like about him, it's the quickness. So he's someone that is able to process the game really fast. Sometimes you're gonna see him go take a loose puck. He's gonna peek over his shoulder and see his line mate teammate, and he thinks really fast. He doesn't need a whole lot of time to make his decision, make his passes. So that's why I think this is something that's gonna translate really well in the NHL, because you get less time to do your plays. So he's already processing the game fast. For him to be in the discussion in the elite playmaker in this draft, the thing that he would need to improve for me, I would say first of all, it's the volume. So in terms of volume, you need to complete more pass in danger area. The top guy are able to complete more passes, I would say, and also harder passes. Sometimes there's very difficult pass that the elite playmaker are going to be able to do, and with him I'm not quite seeing the high-end passes, and also he could add a touch of creativity with his playmaking. Now let's move to a category that I don't really like about his game, and I think this is going to surprise a lot of people, and it's the physicality. But give me a few seconds to explain myself. So he's a big guy, 6'4", and even though he's young, 17 years old, he's still one of the strongest players in the OHL, and I think he's not really maximizing his physical attribute. If you compare him, let's say, to a guy like Alexis Lafrenière, so Lafrenière is a bit smaller, shorter, but physically he's a difference maker. He finishes it a lot more often. He can change the momentum of a game with a few big hits, and even though Byfield does finish it sometime, he's still more of a skills player in a big body, so he's not super mean. And if you look at this clip, he's gonna get a very good chance to finish the play behind the net, neutralize the guy either by finishing the hit or some pinning him against the board, but he loses battle and they get scored on. In the end, he still has a huge potential physically. It's just that right now most experts are talking about him like he's a dominant force physically, and I think it's not really accurate because there's way smaller players than him that are more effective than him currently. And we are getting at the last category of the video, and it's his stick handling. So for a big guy, he's got some really smooth hands. He's able to do some highlight moves, sometimes very creative with his stick handling. And when you mix all the good things together, that gives you a very unique prospect. Tall guy, strong, super fast in a straight line, extremely dangerous in transition. He can finish with his good shot, and he also has the smooth hand, and he's able to make quick read to distribute the puck. So very complete guy. It's hard to find a package like this. It's very rare. Now in terms of player comparison in the NHL, I'm gonna go with the obvious one. I know a lot of people are already compare him to Evgeny Malkin, so I'm gonna go with him. And I see a little bit of Eric Stahl. Both of them are 6'4", I think, and all of them might go second overall in the draft. So I think Malkin went second, same with Eric Stahl, and Byfield, there's a good chance he goes second. I'm still not sure if I'm gonna have him second on my board, because like if you watch my video, my love for Tim Stützle and Marco Rossi is really strong. I really like those two, so I wouldn't know what to do. If I had the second overall pick, it would be a hard choice for me. The logical thing would be probably to take Byfield, but still, a guy like Rossi is probably better than Byfield right now. But the question is, will Byfield catch up to him, it's a high probability that it will happen. But then again, Rossi's a super hard worker, so I think he's gonna keep on improving, and it's not gonna be that easy for Byfield to catch him up. But even right now, I'm still unsure where I'm gonna put Byfield in my final ranking. That's why I kind of waited to do this scouting report on him. I was trying to see him play during the playoff to get a better read, because there's some time where in international play at the Hlinka Gretzky summer camp with Team Canada and even at the World Junior, where he was kind of meh, sometimes just a tad bit disappointing, whereas players like Tim Stützle and Marco Rossi, I've been super impressed with them from start to finish. Nothing bad to say really about them. But even with all that said, I might very well have Byfield second overall in my final ranking video. You will have to check this video. And speaking of video, I'm gonna need your help for the next one, so please write down in the comment the player you will like to see, and I'm probably gonna pick the one that gets the most thumbs up for the next one, probably in a couple of days. This is it for this one. Till next time, I hope you survive the quarantine days. I know it's hard, but we gotta do it.